Loki season 1 finale. Oh my shit.
Hot damn, hot damn.
First off, fantastic.
100%.
Absolutely insane. And, you know, we've talked WandaVision, we've talked Falcon Winter Soldier. I've said it before, I've told you this. This was the most, I was very excited for this series, but this series went probably above and beyond expectation. Definitely went above your expectation, because I know that there was a thought of you not even giving it the time of day.
Definitely.
But before we even go into it, there will be a season 2, which is sick.
Also, spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler warning for Loki, episode 6, the finale, which dropped today. Christian and I just watched it right before we pressed the record button. Fresh take. Fresh off the noggin. The fact that there will be a season 2 just goes to show you what kind of cliffhanger it left on.
Hell yeah. And everything they're setting up.
So, going off from where we left off in episode 5 to episode 6, they make it to the end of the timeline. They meet the one who remains.
Dun, dun, dun. What's his actual name? What's this guy's real name? He's from Lovecraft Country on HBO.
He was hilarious.
Dude,
First off, so good.
Not the way I was expecting him to come out at all. He gave me, like, lesser Jeff Goldblum vibes.
In Ragnarok, that's such a good description.
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors.
Because he's already been confirmed for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium as well. Before he was even
set to be the center, not the center, but like the end-all person.
Yeah,
I guess a villain of it.
Which is why I'm so amazed that they were able to hide this, because he's been cast probably for over a year now. And the fact that they were just able to hide, no leaks, that he's in the show.
Dude, that was similar to Falcon and Soldier with Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
True.
She was always planned to be part of Marvel, and I think originally, before COVID, she was originally supposed to be in Black Widow, because that was coming out first.
Yes.
That was supposed. So
I didn't even
they were.
realize
I think she was supposed to be introduced earlier in the Marvel universe.
Yes.
But it just set up. I get obviously with what they had to work with, set up better to do it during that series.
I will not say anything, but it worked out very.
Oh, I 100%. I think it worked.
You got to see Black Widow so we could do a little
right.
spoiler talk.
Yeah, Christian saw Black Widow over the weekend. That came out on Friday. But back to Loki, it was just I don't know how to start, because it's just like, where do you go? So they.
I mean, I feel like we could just start at the end.
Right, literally. So it's essentially kind of described as to what I guess Marvel fans are all set it up towards, which is just like this multiverse, and it I guess just dawns on multiple timelines. There's multiple universes. There's multiple of you.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Something the show has already touched on.
Right. A handful of times, and I think it went even beyond. So, towards the end, we'll start from the end. Sacred Timeline looks like the vein in my arm now. No longer is a straight line. It literally looks like a spider web. And that's because Loki and Sylvie, they had their moment. Loki truly showing the growth and what they touched upon last episode. It's like, you go on this quest and you have to learn about yourself. Someone said that. I didn't the one remaining, didn't he say that?
Last episode?
No, and this was like, it's the end of the quest and you have to learn something about yourself and be better. And And of course, Loki ends up being that person. I think like everyone kind of knew after like the first episode of this show that this was going to go through 2008 Loki and being like, you're not really that bad, lonely guy. You have a heart. And like, so of course that was the cliche that kind of was like standard throughout the entire series. But of course, it was more than just like that.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
entire throughout
his arc of the series,
but not even the show too, right? The entire like Infinity Saga arc, he's always back and forth, right? He's a villain, and then he becomes helpful, and then he goes back being bad, back and forth until the end when he finally makes that decision to stand up to Thanos, and he snaps his neck in Infinity.
Right,
and that's something that's part of Loki's mythology in Norse mythology in general, as well as he's constantly supposed to relive Ragnarok. He's always supposed to go in this cycle of not being able to change. And so that's
right.
What this entire show has been about, him actually being able to change. And I think it's interesting that at the end of this episode, we do see that change, right? He stops Sylvie. He's like, I don't want this. I don't want the throne. I want you to be okay. And he still doesn't get what he wants. Which
Right.
I think is very interesting.
Right. And it's the crazy part was just like him and Sylvie had their moment. They kissed.
Yeah.
So it's like essentially they kissed themselves, I guess.
I mean,
right? If you look into that technicality, you know, I mean, personally, I think that they're two separate people, although like it's not.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I'm fine with it.
I'm with it.
I'm okay with it. And then she just dropped that ball of like, great speech, but I'm not you.
Yeah.
Bing, get out of here. And not only does she see, I don't want to reveal his name, so I'm just gonna keep him with the one who remains. I'm just gonna kind of keep him as that.
I mean, we've kind of already.
Yeah, we've actually tidbits. It is Kane the Conqueror. But she ends up marking him, and then it's so funny that he was like, up to this moment, obviously I've known everything that happens, and then about 8 seconds ago, now I don't, because at that point he was like, he knew that because the choice was in their hands now.
Yeah.
It's like, you can kill me, and I'll come back and I'll explain to you everything I just told you about how, just like there were so many Lokis, there's a shit ton more of me, who were in the were the epicenter, and we're like the center of like this creation that want a multiverse war. So as soon as she thinks he's lying, Loki believes him to the.
Part of me thinks that he knew what was going to happen, because when she kills him, he says, "I'll see you soon."
Right.
And he had already said that if they kill him, then he's just going to come back, because his future selves and his past selves will know that he dies then, so then they'll just restart everything again.
Right.
Which is why at the end we're finished with the Timekeeper trio statues when Loki gets back to the TVA, and we actually see He Who Remains, Kang,
as that huge statue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it oh crap, what was I gonna say? I think like he knew, like you said, the decision that was going to be made, and it was up to them. Because he was like, if you kill me, I come back. If you don't, my work remains. It's like, he just kind of told them, there's no getting rid of me, regardless of what you do.
Yeah.
Like, God, this is the end. Like,
I'm here.
Yeah, you either do this.
It's very interesting. It sets up there are a lot of implications for the rest of Phase 4 and Marvel as a whole. We started talking about how he was cast for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. The next thing that comes out from Marvel is Marvel's What If, which are a whole bunch of one-off multiverse stories and things changing throughout phases 1 through 3. So I would assume that What If are the timelines that they have now created, the bajillion times.
And it's cool because that was the What If series, like, trailer just dropped, like, last week, and out of, like, left field, kind of. I had no idea. I don't think anyone knew that they were gonna be doing this. Did you know before the
They
trailer?
had put out a little teaser earlier, but like super small. I think it was more like cuts of what they're doing for like Phase 4 and Phase 5.
Okay.
Yeah, this was like the first main thing that they put out.
Right. What if like that one? That's probably gonna be like on its own. Like there's gonna be no like of that series. There's not gonna be a continuation into Phase 4 or anything. Yeah.
So I'm with you. I feel like it'll be a limited series, maybe, but I also thought Loki was going to be a limited series, and it's not. I do think that there will be some type of strand. Right in the trailer, the Watcher is there, so I feel like he's going to be the overarching, maybe the narrator or something. But I feel like there are going to be some type of tie-in. The next multiverse thing that we get after What If is Spider-Man, No Way Home.
No Way Home, yeah.
With like all the Spider-Mans, and then we get Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, which WandaVision is supposed to lead into, and also Spider-Man is supposed to lead into because Doctor Strange is in that.
Right.
So I feel like What If is definitely just going to be a whole bunch of one-off stories, but there are definitely, I think there's going to be some implications for the rest of the multiverse as a whole.
Okay. Yeah, because when you sent that trailer to me, I was like, like this is cool. And it's almost essentially like they took scenes from like old movies and literally like animated them to perfection, like overlaid just the animation on it.
Yeah.
Like the 360 of the New York in Avengers, in the first Avengers, it being animated like that looked sick.
Yeah,
so
like the Guardians and stuff.
Right, and exactly. The Guardians were in New York.
Yeah. Gamora has Thanos' like helicopter blade.
Yep.
From Endgame, kind of dope.
Yep.
But even the opening shot of Tony Stark being saved by Killmonger.
Yep.
That's the same exact shot of how Iron Man starts.
Right.
Like verbatim, which is very cool. I think. So this leads into What If and all the multiverse stuff. I feel like season 2 will probably lead into the big whatever. It's definitely going to lead into Ant-Man and the Wasp because Kang is there. And then I feel like it might lead into Secret Wars 2 because they also have announced that as a television show, which, I mean, it has to do with the Skrulls, but I feel like there could be a lot going on.
Right. Like I'm wondering in terms of just like time that season 2 of Loki now, like where that leads off, because so the ending is what really kind of fucked me up. Is that like, so Sylvie uses like the pad and just kind of like, you know, I'm gonna do this, like I'm not you, like you change, like that's great. But she uses the pad and sends him back to the TVA. But so like our timeline, Mobius and then B-15, we're looking at the timeline and they were like, what do we do? But they were also like, there's no running from this, like let's face it. They kind of like, they're like, although we know that we're variants and like we know the truth about this, like we still said like always, like, you know, like we're gonna fight, you know, in the sense of that. And our Loki gets sent back to a different timeline. Literally goes up to Mobius, goes up to B-15, explains like the thing that he just saw Mobius in the void. We made it through. We saw the goddamn blah, blah, and he's just like, who are you? Like, what division are you in? Mm-hmm. Like, he turns, he sees that Kang statue is like at the TVA already there. So like that Kang obviously is right, is
out of the shadow ruling.
Right, out of the shadow ruling. Yeah. And so now Loki's in a completely different timeline currently, which is insane. And that's where we leave it off.
I'm interested to see, because I would assume in the main timeline Sylvie is now on She Who Remains, right? Because she kills Kang, meaning she would take his spot. So what does that mean for where she goes, and how is she gonna?
Well, I don't know, because he was like, if you guys don't kill me, you guys can take over. It wasn't like kill me, take over. It was like, if you
kill me, then all the branches are gonna.
Right. That's why Loki was like, don't kill him, and then she's like, you want the throne. because it was like, if you don't kill me, you two can be the ones to just like be at the TVA and be leading.
Right. Yeah. So you don't think there's any more He Who Remains at all?
I mean, no, there definitely could be, but I'm just like.
But that would make sense because now there's nobody to watch over. Because she didn't want the throne, and.
Right. I think in terms of for our Sylvie, she killed him, and now she's just sitting at the end of time right now in her timeline, with all these branches just going fucking haywire, and she can't do anything.
I mean, I guess she can escape, right? Because that's what she always wanted, is to not be hunted anymore, so she's free that way, I guess. But would all those branching timelines also mean that there are more people coming after her? Right? Especially if Kang is ruling in that new timeline, you can assume that Kang is ruling in multiple timelines. And that's his thing, is he wants to just become the ruler of time.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's very interesting where this show is going to go and all the implications for it. I also am really excited to see what goes on with Mobius and Ravonna, because she's gone. She just like disappears.
And I guess we'll use like the last few minutes talking about the show and just the episode. Definitely not where I thought the episode was going at all. Mm-hmm. It was like super like chill, and I wish there was more Mobius. Like we got like a little bit, like a few minutes, and then like
this is the second
they send.
episode of the season.
Yeah, like Mobius send B-15. They go to where Ravonna got taken. She was a teacher at a school, and then B-15 like basically like drew the other TVA variant hunters and be like, oh, like I have to show you something. Bang. Like this isn't Judge, like, you know, whoever, like this. She's like, what the fuck are you doing in my school? And they're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
You know, it's like.
Which is interesting because.
And then she just ran away. She's like, I need to find my own free will. Okay.
Yeah, so maybe she's trying to find out where she came from, possibly, or she went to go and find He Who Remains, but he no longer remains. So where would she...
I'm also wondering, like, Mobius, like Owen Wilson's like, we need to talk about like your secret. He holds the pen. In my head, I'm going like, does she knows exactly where she came from, you know, and just hasn't said, and like knows how everyone got there, but she thinks there's like this overarching like purpose as of why like they got chosen to do the work, and like Mobius is like, this is fucking bullshit. Like, she's like, no, like, there's a reason we do it for the higher power. Yeah. He's like, you're a fucking dumb fuck.
You were just.
He's like, you're fucking stupid. And she's like, goodbye.
She'll definitely be back.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. I'm interested to see where her character goes. I want to know what happened with the chick that Sylvie changed her brain. Remember from like episode 4 or whatever?
The one with the margaritas?
Yeah.
She's dead. They killed her.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, yeah.
Ravonna just murked her because she was like, oh, like she knows how. Because she wanted to keep it hush-hush. And then he stole the temp pad that episode. And saw and searched up, and she was like deceased. And like, yeah, she killed her because she like she was like, I know what's going on. Like, I've had a life before this. And she's like, looked at the camera. And she was like, fuck. Murked her. She was like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm definitely excited for season 2. I think it'll probably be like a year out or so. It's weird to see Tom Hiddleston become. I feel like he's low-key gonna become their new like guy, like the face
of like this phase. You think Loki's gonna be like the? It could be. I mean,
maybe. I don't know. I mean, he's doing a lot. And I could see him popping up in like Thor: Love and Thunder too, because that doesn't come out for like another 2-3 years or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to me that he's like actually back now.
Right. Yeah, it's true. It was a great episode. It was a great season 1. I'm happy that we're getting more because I truly thought like this was it. Like, dope. But even with 15 minutes left, we were like, this is ending on a cliffhanger, and like it's either going to be answered by like most of these by a movie that's going to be connected no end credit scene, just poof, Loki will be back for season 2. And I was like, yes. Please watch it. Please watch it. That's all I gotta say. Watch it.